What's going on, y'all? Do us a favor, help us out with that algorithm. Click that subscribe, like, leave those comments.
Freak athlete, right? Like just absolutely off the charts. Was the darling of the combine, if you will, right? So stands 6'4", 244 pounds. So again, Cam Newton-esque. That's where some of those comparisons come through. 10.5-inch hands. So you don't have to worry about the fumble rooskies nearly as much. But a 4.43 40. His 10-yard split was 1.53. Like that is really good. 40.5-inch vertical and it's like a 10'9" broad jump is what it was. So very high profile athlete. Now, quarterback. Passing drills were, as a passer, he's average. Like his arm, he has a above average arm. His instincts are okay. His mechanics are sloppy, and his footwork's not that great. Right? Like, so those are some of the things that he's instantly going to have to work on. But from a fantasy aspect, he is a cheat code. Like, he is instantly a cheat code because of how well he can use his legs. He can absorb those big hits. And he's able to, kind of release the ball while defenders are hanging on to him a little bit, like Cam, like Ben Roethlisberger, that type of thing. So, I think his biggest problems are going to be decision making. I think the NFL game is going to blow his mind here to begin with. Like, it is going to be a struggle in the passing game, kind of like what we saw with, Justin Fields. Right, all the fantasy points came from the legs. Richardson has the athleticism to do that, which will help him and continue to buy him time in the NFL to catch up. But because of that decision making process and his accuracy, he is going to struggle a little bit, right? Like I said earlier, it was at 53.8, 56.8% in college, where receivers are wide freaking open. Like, that's not very good. By comparison, Stetson Bennett was 68.7. Will Levis was 63.5. All these guys are in the same conference. Bryce Young, like, same conference. He had a 67.2 complete percentage. Like, you can compare because they played the same teams, right? So Hooker was up there as well. Excuse me. I didn't mean to leave him out. So all these guys that we're talking about, all coming out of the SEC, are facing the same competition, especially for the four guys on the East, right? Bennett, Hooker, Levis, and Richardson all played each other. They all were on that side of the conference. Bryce Young was in the West. So, he played against Florida and Tennessee, didn't play against Georgia, whatever. So you have comparisons right here in these top guys that we're looking at and how they handled Georgia specifically, just because that was the best defense on that side of the division. And that's what we can closest to professional, right? They all struggled, but Richardson was terrible. I mean, Georgia absolutely made him look silly. They also did it with Hooker for the first half. Hooker did kind of release a little bit in the third quarter, and then they pulled him when the game got out of hand. So Richardson, I think he's going to be exciting. I think a team like the Raiders do take a chance on him, right? It's a big play name where it brings that cachet to the position that matches the rest of the division with Mahomes and Herbert and Wilson. So I do think the Raiders could possibly take a flyer here on Jordan Richardson. And I think it'd be something a little bit different. But McDaniels also drafted Tebow, right? So again, running more of a run first, work on mechanics style quarterback. Not that, they're the same athlete, but we've seen McDaniels do something like this before. So I think that kind of matches up well.